All right. So this exciting new passion is coming in. All right. All right. Perhaps the situation is this. Some of you guys may have already hashed out the details of what your utopia looks like. Or maybe you've already started on the journey of manifesting a beautiful connection or emotional connection with someone. But the Seven of Pentacles can talk about reevaluating where you are to get to where you want to be. Or how you view what you're doing and how you can get to where you want to be. So the Eight of Pentacles is such an interesting card in this respect, because I kind of feel like you guys have definitely taken a step back to observe. And I know it's typically not necessarily like the go-to definition for the Seven of Pentacles, but there's a lot of observation. There's a lot of gathering information with this card that I feel like you guys are definitely doing. And the reason why is because you guys have an intention. You're setting the intention, you're setting this new project in mind, something fun, something that has a lot to do with a lot of energy, a lot of high vibrations, a lot of desire and lust and pleasure of some sort, something that gets the fires going. Some of you may have had someone come back from the past and you're reevaluating how you prefer to go about dealing with it, and if there's anything left to work with at all. What areas may need to be worked on. Okay, so we got some thinking that we've got going on here. The heart of your reading has got the Eight of Cups in this. And to me, when I see or hear about the Eight of Cups, especially when in this sort of situation and the combination of cards that we've got here, I definitely feel like we are acknowledging what's no longer working for us. No longer in like serving, giving us anything to work with. No longer allowing us not allowing us, but no longer giving us something to discover or to understand about ourselves. I think we've completely used what we needed to use from this. So the situation is that we're emotionally drained. There's nothing more we can give to a situation anymore. We've reached the top of our capacity of handling something, and now we are ready to move on. It's about moving on, changing our focus, redirecting our Northern Star, if that makes sense, or repositioning it rather. So I feel like with the Eight of Cups, this situation is saying that how much you are ready to kind of move on. Like you're not quite interested to stay and linger. So in the past, you had the King of Cups. You have an ideal lover already. You already know who this person is. You already know what this person's going to look like, how this person feels, how you want them to make you feel. You know exactly what this individual looks like. There was lots of daydreams with this individual here. Sometimes this can indicate this is an actual person, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, whom you last interacted with, and this person was quite mature for how they displayed themselves. Or this is you guys mastering your own emotional and your own emotional portion of yourself, becoming more aware of your emotions, mastering the flow or the way you respond to certain things in your life to manifest what you want to manifest. So you know exactly what this is for you guys in your own personal stories. So with this translation, right, I feel like with this mastering of your own emotions here, or dealing with somebody from the past here, I don't really feel like this person was emotionally manipulative or underhanded in some way, but I do feel like this person had some serious conflict attached to that, and you've made peace with it somehow, or you've created a way to be more self-sustaining, or to have more self-esteem, higher self-esteem for yourself in this area through this kind of interaction. And I don't know why I'm connecting this with the external energy, the Five of Swords, with the King of Cups in the past, but I do feel like they have something to kind of do with it. There is something that is non-compromising though. The Nine of Pentacles does to tell me that there is a serious amount of boredom. There's nothing really going on. There's nothing really interesting or challenging you at this moment. And as much as comfortable as this environment is, it's not giving you something emotionally back. There's something emotional that you're not getting from this situation anymore. So the Five of Swords is coming in where there is this change, and perhaps in perspective, about how this is supposed to look for you, or what this should look like for other people, or what this should look like for you, rather, right? How this should look, how this should be. So let me see, honestly, why is this Five of Swords coming up in the external energy? The Tower. Unexpected changes and adjustments in your life. Alterations to the magnified degree. But the Five of Swords is a ruthless energy. It can be very ruthless. Looking out for your own best interests sometimes, or someone around you that's looking to sabotage your way of life. But I don't think this is anyone outside of yourself. I feel like because you're bored, you're sabotaging your security to make a situation happen for where there to be something not only interesting, but to get you moving, get you motivated. Some of you guys may or may not really notice that you're doing it and do that sabotage. You will hit a space where you have to conquer some fears or doubts about yourself that you may not have noticed being in a place that's so comfortable. It could be. However, that's something, and it's a totally different extreme case. And even then, this isn't an act of love. Even if you were to sabotage your comfortable life, you are not doing it because you hate yourself. You're doing this because you love yourself and you want to give what you want. Give yourself what you want. So if that doesn't apply to you, then don't apply. If those of you that are willing to be honest about it, go ahead, say it. Be honest with yourself. This is a situation I'm trying to get out of, and I'm doing it in a way that will definitely get me out of it, but it may not feel necessarily as ideal as I'd like it to, because it may cut ties with people, it may cause problems, we may argue, we may no longer be friends, we may have nothing to do with each other at the end of it, but I needed to do it so to set myself free, to break myself out of this gilded cage that I have put myself in, to heal myself and to love myself in ways that I didn't think I could. And it's okay. But the situation for me, though, with the Nine of Pentacles isn't necessarily about seeing yourself as trapped, because I don't think you're trapped. And I don't think you see yourself as trapped, but you do feel like your lifestyle is in a situation where it's set and it can take you places financially, but never anywhere emotionally. So does that mean you just completely changed that whole lifestyle up? Not necessarily. You can, there's something else you can do without having to cause serious uprooting of your life. And I feel like that's where the Ace of Pentacles comes in. What new engagements or parties or projects do you want to start? What other things do you want to begin? Because if you're too bored for too long, you're gonna get creative. Oh, Gemini, I'm just going to say this straight out. You're going to get really creative, and you're going to start coming up with ways to make yourself do things that you never would think yourself would do. And then it's going to feel like, it's just a lot to overcome. You're going to survive that too. Whatever you decide to do, either way is the right way. It's just about whether or not you want to control that way consciously or not control that way subconsciously. Or control that way subconsciously. And subconsciously, sometimes we don't see that shit coming. And I can tell you on a record of times, anytime I've sabotaged myself, it was me doing it to me because I didn't notice, and I was protecting myself from failure, protecting myself from the fear of losing or fear of doing something bad. This may not apply to everyone, I'm just going to say straight out. And if it does, this is not a judgment. This is not a judgment whatsoever. This is legitimately just stating what I'm seeing here as a method or as a form of facts, not a judgment. Because like I just told you, I do the same BS myself. Okay, the same thing. But I feel like instead of uprooting your entire life or trying to change something drastic in yourself, in your environment, because you're not mad at the area. you're just not getting anything out of it anymore. Emotionally and like financially and everything, you're comfortable, you're set. I don't think anybody wants to ever like be struggling again. And I don't think you're struggling. I think you're good. And I feel like you want to maintain this by have something interesting going on. Which is why you've seen the Seven of Pentacles coming up. You've done what you need to do. You're in a comfortable space. What else do you need to do? Incorporate something of great value in your life. You're in a comfortable utopia. You're in a comfortable place in your life. This doesn't necessarily have to change. If you wanted to change, you definitely could start from scratch. It's telling you to do it anyway. But if it's not necessarily the route that you are necessarily trying to go into, perhaps taking something up that's still big, that still gets you moving, that still increases your interest by going after what you are trying to feel. That's best associated with something that you can do now. Okay? So that's what I got going on here. That's what I feel like is happening. I feel like that's the advice. And I feel like you guys are already trying to figure out what to do now. Some of you guys are like, yeah, I'm ready to do something new, something I can actually enjoy, something that I feel is worth my time and energy, that I don't see as work. Now, your hopes and fears is the Ten of Pentacles. Like I said, I don't think you guys want to leave a space where you're financially comfortable, or at least remove yourself out of a position of feeling of being all right, like financially, stable-wise, emotionally, whatever. Like, you have this connection with yourself, this independent view of yourself. You want to keep that the best as you can. And you can always keep it no matter what situation you're in case you do decide to just like say, you know what, let's start from absolute scratch. And even if it is starting from absolute scratch, the advice is literally what you've been already thinking. But again, if this is not what you want to do, if you want to go ahead and start doing something different, but kind of maintain the same sort of stature, then you can do that. And I feel like it starts by looking at what you want to feel. The Four of Cups. What do you want to feel, Gemini? Super important. Do you want to feel fulfilled? Do you want to feel successful? Do you want to feel helpful? Do you want to feel accomplished? Do you want to mean something of great? Do you want to not mean something of great value to yourself, which that's still a valid one to go down? Do you want to see how you are in this art form or in this sort of field of work? Is there something about this area that's intriguing, that's interesting to you, that you'd like to discover and learn more of and become efficient in? Whatever those areas are, it's all attached to an emotion. And until you find that emotion, but once you find that emotion, it's going to be super easy to pinpoint what you want to do. And I love this card in the back underneath the deck, and I don't typically look at these nowadays, at least for the videos. I look at them all the time for my personal readings, but for the videos I don't do them. But the card underneath here is Wheel of Fortune. You have a new opportunity coming in. But this is your new opportunity to do something completely different, to enrichen yourself in another way. It's a change of luck. So this is a pretty big transformation in your life, really big change that's coming in your life anyway. Okay, the tribe. Okay, all right, okay. I feel like there's people around you that are willing to help you. There are people around you that are willing to help you. And it does have a lot to do with the environment that you put yourself in, the people that are willing to work with you, and what role you play in the whole situation too. Most importantly, you have people around you that you can brainstorm, that you can collab with, that you can, maybe bounce ideas off of. And there is a role that you can play in doing that helps other people. You don't have to do this by yourself, as the Nine of Pentacles can sometimes suggest. Doing something solo, or being alone, or doing something without anyone else's help. You don't have to do it by yourself. You can do this with people around you that love you and want the best for you as well. It's just Like, so I feel like if you've got people or a group of people that around you that want you to be happy or are just as interested as you are about, you know, what your next steps will be, I feel like collabing and bouncing ideas off of them, it will definitely give you some ideas. The Ace of Pentacles, to start working on something. Wow, let two become one as well. Wow. Interesting. Now, I didn't really see another person in here, but the fact that the King of Cups is in the past, it reminds me that there is another person. Now, I feel like the most of this reading is about you, but two become one. Interesting. It usually implies that there's another person involved and that your unity does not infringe on your beautiful, unique individuality. But in that sense, I feel like the Two of Cups is saying that in order for you to successfully manifest the King of Cups, you have to embody the King of Cups. This person that you've manifested in the past, he exists within you, and he can come through you. If this is the ideal lover and you haven't been able to, or you haven't necessarily mastered your emotions quite right, or quite immediately, or in the past, you haven't mastered them, don't beat yourself up. This is not a judgment. It's okay. Perhaps this meaning of the King of Cups is about who you've manifested in your life, or who is your ideal person. You have an idea, you have a desire in which you have surrounding a person, or what your other half may be for you. And the only way, not the only way, but a way of going about manifesting this or starting a new journey is living the embodiment of your person, like being the person you want in your life. That does mean self-love, self-care, paying attention to your emotions, being emotionally considerate. But this biggest thing is that in order for there to be two, there first must be one. And I feel like that one is you. You have to be who the King of Cups is. If you're not satisfied with your life, if you're not happy with how things are going, you have every ability in you to change it. Of course, I believe you know this, but the most important thing is that if you've manifested, or you've been wanting someone, if you've been desiring another person, that other person exists within you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to know what this person, who you wanted, and living in this person, or living as the embodiment of this person, not pretending to be someone that you're not, but to just envision, be who you want who you would want to be with, is exactly what will bring what you want.